Hello, one and all viewers, listeners, I suppose, actually. Welcome to What Were We Talking About Again? The only podcast on the internet that preys on your inability to remember how a conversation started. I'm your host, Jake, and with me here today is my friend Carly.
Hi.
All right. So, the first thing we should probably do is introduce ourselves for people who don't know us. So, my name is Jake. My favorite color is green. I play video games on occasion, and I like science and cats.
My name's Carly. I record videos for my school, and my favorite color is blue.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. Um, Now, is there anything you'd like to say before we start? Anything you'd like people to know that would contribute?
I'm not sure. It depends what we're talking about. I don't
Yeah.
know what we're talking about today, so I'm going into this very blind.
Okay. Yeah. That's true. That was actually very brave of you. You came down here, and I didn't even tell you what this show is, and you decided to co-host it.
Yeah.
Um, so let me explain the premise here. It's called What Were We Talking About Again, as you overheard earlier. And what it is we start out with a random topic and we talk about it however we want. It could be a discussion, an argument, a description, a story, anything relating to that topic for 15 minutes. After the 15 minutes is up, we must switch topics to something relating to the last word or phrase we uttered during our previous conversation.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah. And, we don't have to necessarily stick to the starting topic. Wherever the conversation goes, it goes. But we do have to switch at the end of that 15-minute mark.
Okay,
Uh,
I'm down with it.
yeah, so why I brought my laptop down with me is because it has a random word generator, and that's how we're gonna start. Uh, Pick a starting topic. That's the
Okay.
one thing we're missing. Something to start with. That's the key ingredient. So let me go back there right now, and I'm gonna generate our word.
So we're just gonna start with one word. I hope the one word has nothing to do with the president.
Wow, we certainly did get an interesting one.
Okay, what is it?
Our word is blade.
Blade.
Yes.
Okay.
Anyway, if you'd like to start the timer.
Start.
All right. So, swords.
Swords.
Swords, exactly.
Swords.
Yep.
You always pronounce the W.
Mm-hmm. It's not silent or anything.
No, it's never silent.
I think swords are so much cooler than guns. Like, I think as you go throughout history, the method of warfare becomes less and less cool. So at first you had cavemen fighting each other with rocks and sticks, and that was extremely badass. And then you had people develop swords and shields, and that kind of combat is also pretty badass, but not really as badass as bare fists going at each
fist
other.
is better.
Yeah. And then bows and arrows and chariots, which are all right.
Yeah.
You have jousting too,
I mean,
which is pretty cool.
Do you watch American Horror Story?
I do not, no.
Well, there's this scene in American Horror Story where it's these three like teenagers. Well, they're not like teenagers. They're like actually no, they're kind of like teenagers. They like watched the show within the show from the season it was Roanoke, and they like go to the house to like investigate what's going on. But like the ghosts or whatever who like rule the land shoot bow and arrows at them and they all die. And like there's like 500 bow and arrows. They just come out and kill them all. It's crazy. So
There are ghosts in that?
it's like, all right, they're like the settlers from the lost town of Roanoke,
Okay.
and like they haunt this land, and like people keep going back there to like mess with them and try and figure out what's really going on to see if there really are ghosts, but there are, but nobody believes them. So it's kind of like the tale of are ghosts real or not.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Maybe I should start. Everyone's been raving about that show since since it first hit the mainstream. So, but I don't watch TV as a general rule. The only show I've watched recently has been that Leah Remini Scientology documentary thing
Oh yeah, I don't even
where
know what that is.
Leah Remini is the wife from King of Queens. You know that show
King of Queens.
with
That's on
Kevin
like
James?
yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
And she was a Scientologist all her life, and recently she had like an epiphany that it's like so awful the stuff they do. Like they'll seclude you from your family, and they'll make you pay a bunch of money for Scientology research material or whatever, and
Oh my God.
you have to dedicate 3 hours of your life every single day to studying Scientology, and it's all so stupid. Um, and they have like this ranking system where once you've been in it long enough, you go up to the next rank. But every so often, they'll change like 5 words in the Scientology book. And not only do you have to purchase the new book, but you also have to reset back to the previous rank. And their goal is to reach this super high rank at the top of the caste system. And nobody actually ever does it, really.
Because they keep putting out new material.
Right. It's like you're chasing this fleeting dream that's just never gonna come. And they have you believing that this is the way you should live your life. And if you go against Scientology, that you're an awful person, and they'll do these crazy things to you. They'll have people stalk you and record you.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's freaky.
I know, it's actually very impressive, I think, how they've managed to take their religion and turn it into a profiteering scheme, and how they managed to not to keep people in the whole scheme, even though it's like, if you just think about it, it's awful. You know,
But
people
that's
they
kind
grew.
of like every religion kind of thing.
Yeah,
really.
but at least in, say, Christianity, like, you don't have to pay a bunch of money. Like, you have to pay hundreds of thousands of dollars to
like, stay in
Scientology
this.
organizations, not just to stay in it, but also to keep them. Like, even if you wanted to quit, you'd have to keep them off your back. Like, you'd have to pay them money.
Or fake your own death.
Yeah, one of those. Anyway, after bows and arrows,
Oh
we
yeah,
went to
that's where we were.
yeah, exactly. You forgot totally.
Yeah, sports.
That's the point. We have guns, and at first it was kind of cool how all the soldiers lined up and shot, even though it was impractical and stupid.
Yeah.
And then they had the boy playing the bugle or whatever to lead
Bugle.
them. Yeah, bugle
Isn't
boy.
a bugle a chip? Yeah.
Oh yeah,
bugles.
there are chips called bugles, but I was referring to the instrument.
Yeah.
Although,
Bugles are shaped like bugles.
yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of cool. I never actually thought of it that way.
And then the Civil War happened, and then we developed machine guns, and now everybody just hides behind
Yeah,
the
that's so
corner.
lame.
And yeah, but
Like we should do it just Mortal Kombat style. Take each other
oh
out.
my goodness,
That would be
yes,
awesome.
with fatalities and everything.
Finish him.
Exactly. But it's gotten even worse because now, like, we have people just flying in airplanes, and they can't even see their targets. They're automatically tracked, and they just press the button and fire the missile. It's gotten so lame.
Yeah, like, that's such a lame way out. I don't know. I feel like if we just went in, instead of fighting wars, why don't we just, like, give each other flowers and hug and just be like,
Whoever
we're all
hugs the
good.
hardest wins.
Yeah, hug the hardest.
Although that
Whoever
would
gives the nicest compliment, like, you win.
I don't think other cultures would quite agree with us there.
Yeah.
That's the only problem, because most wars are fought between cultures.
Yeah, which kind of sucks.
And also, all it takes is one person to defect and start attacking their opponents for everything to be ruined.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of how war starts. Everyone's in mutual agreement until one person has to take what they want by force.
Yeah,
and
just
it
they
creates
say
this
one
whole
thing and everybody's like,
Yeah.
no,
And
we
now
don't want that.
you need alliances to make sure that doesn't happen. But like, if a bunch of people threaten this alliance, it creates warfare, and territorial conflict. I mean, it's just in human nature, I feel, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's the one person or one group has to be superior than the other.
Yeah.
And it's always like that. This piece of glass keeps moving. Stop touching it.
Yeah. Um,
Swords.
Swords. Right.
Swords.
Have you ever played The Legend of Zelda? Any games in the series?
Yeah. I mean, like, Nintendo 64 status? Yeah. After that, no.
So Majora's Mask, I think, is the best Zelda. But the one I'm going to talk about is Skyward Sword, because that's the one where you have the Wii Motion Plus that follows your movements, and you actually have to swing your arm like a sword.
And, like, take people out.
Yeah, and it's kind of cool, because you have your nunchuck as your shield, and if you flick it, you bring your shield up to block an attack.
That's actually really cool. I never really got into Wii games, except for, like, Mario Galaxy.
Yeah, Mario Galaxy is
that was a
very
good
good game.
Yeah. Mario Galaxy 2, Mario Galaxy 1, definitely awesome.
I actually, I think 2 is better than 1 in some ways, but I played 1 when it first came out, and I haven't replayed it since, whereas 2 I just played last year, so maybe I'm as I got older, I've been able to notice, creative touches and all the cool things they've done with it, whereas when I played 1, I was a little dumb kid who doesn't know anything. And you were just
trying to play it.
Yeah, but I had a lot of fun with 1. I definitely remember that.
Yeah, I used to play that with my mom, because my mom's like a crazy video game fiend.
I remember I had this friend who, every time I would go to his house, he would make me beat a section of Mario Galaxy for him, because I was really good. Compared to him, at least.
But isn't that, I feel like that wouldn't be as fun because you didn't do it yourself, you know? If somebody else does it for you, it's I beat the game, but I didn't really beat the game.
I don't know. I feel like he got some enjoyment out of watching me, because I play them in very unique... I play games in very unique ways. For instance, in Mario Galaxy, if you do a backflip, then a spin, then a wall jump, then a spin, you could basically scale a wall as long as it's below a certain height. And there's a section in I think Freeze Flame Galaxy where you're supposed to do a triple jump off these water spouts, but you could just skip the whole thing by doing that wall climbing technique.
That's cool.
Yeah, and I discovered that all by myself. It's probably used by speedrunners, although I have no idea. I haven't watched a speedrun of the game. But yeah, where were we? Skyward Sword.
Yeah.
The combat is very good, and I really don't have any problem with that. The issue I do take with the game, though, is that you have to go back to the same areas multiple times, and around the third time, it gets so boring that I can't. It's hard to bring myself to even play the game, and also. You get this loft wing. It's like a giant bird that you fly on. And for some reason, you're not allowed to just use the analog stick to control your flight path. You have to tilt the Wii remote. And I don't know if Nintendo understands that you can't bend your wrist all the way forward without breaking something. So if you want to go downward, you have to just make it a gradual downward glide. You can't just dip down because your hand will break.
Because your hand will break.
Exactly.
I don't think I've ever played a Wii game where I've had to do something like that. Because, I liked the Wii system, but I felt like there was... I don't know, I feel like they could have done something better with it. Because every time I would play games, I felt like the Wii, it would just not work the way I wanted it to, or... alright, my favorite Wii game was,
WarioWare Smooth Moves?
Yeah, Smooth Moves. That was, the best game ever, but I feel like some things I would do on it wouldn't work that well, just because of the sensor bar. And, the way it picked up the Wii remote.
Yeah, I actually, in Skyward Sword, in Twilight Princess, which is the Zelda game that came out before Skyward Sword, it also came out for the Wii and the GameCube, but... The Wii version is what I'm going to talk about. The archery Did
Yeah, the lights are flickering on and off.
Goodness
The
gracious.
balls will ooze green slime.
Uh-huh. We're big SpongeBob fans,
Clearly.
just like everyone else in our generation. I think SpongeBob is the focal point of our generation.
It really is.
Like, you can name you could start any line from a SpongeBob episode, and somebody in the
Somebody's
room
gonna
will be
know.
able to finish it. They will understand, and they'll laugh with you.
I was actually talking yesterday about the episode where Squidward like isn't ugly anymore and he like looks normal. And there was this girl at this party who literally looked just like normal Squidward. It was so weird.
She looked like handsome Squidward.
Yeah, like her chin
Oh
came
my
out just like
goodness.
him. And I was looking at her and I
That
was like,
jawline.
dude, she looks so familiar. And I was like, oh, that's why.
You thought it was somebody you knew.
Yeah, and then I was like, no, she's
It's
just
just
normal
Squidward.
Squidward. So messed up. Didn't feel bad about saying it either. Definitely didn't say it to her face though. That would have made her confidence go down the drain.
Yeah.
Like, hey, you look like handsome Squidward. Did anybody ever tell you that?
Well, he's handsome. I would take that as a compliment.
Yeah, but saying like you look like handsome Squidward is saying like you look like an ugly girl.
I guess to a girl it's different, but like if somebody called me handsome Squidward lookalike, I think I would take that as the highest degree of compliment I
like,
could
wow,
ever receive.
thank you so much.
Thank you so much for boosting my confidence levels to unforeseen heights. Anyway, the archery in Twilight Princess, it would use the pointer feature of the Wii Remote to aim, and I like that. Then Skyward Sword comes out, and for some reason they switched it so that instead of pointing, you have to tilt the Wii Remote. It uses the motion controls to aim instead. And it feels like, I don't know how to describe this, but it feels wavier than the pointer does. Like when you move up, it'll like slowly
Feels like it shakes.
move up. No, it doesn't feel like it shakes. The pointer shakes more, but it feels like too smooth almost. And I don't know why they made that change because the pointer worked perfectly fine. The only thing I could think of is how you can actually move while you aim, because with the pointer controls you couldn't do that. But I think it was a bad choice. I don't mind motion controls. It's just when they're shoehorned into game mechanics that deserve normal controls, it gets a little frustrating. Swimming in Skyward Sword is also a pain because of the same reason flying is. You have to tilt your wrist all the way downward, and I don't know if it's just my hands. Maybe it's just a me thing that my wrist can't lurch all the way forward and loop around like a little stretchy Elastigirl.
I mean, my hands are kind of weird. I can but I can't point down like that, you know? I feel like my arm's gonna break. Oh. Timer's done.
Arm's gonna
break.
That's our new subject.
All right, so
restart that timer.
Arm's gonna break. I don't think. Oh, you know what? One time I sprained my wrist.
Yeah, well, I've never broken any bone in my body. I've never sprained any bone in my body. I'm a very safe person.
Yeah,
I guess.
I've sprained my ankle and I sprained my wrist because when I was 8, me and my sister decided we were going to ride our bikes to Delaware Park. And, we're riding there. Everything's fine. We're on our bikes. I'm 8. I don't care. I'm just like, woo, we get to ride on a main road. This is awesome. So we get there and I go to go up a curb. It's not even a curb. It's like a dip, this high off the ground, right? And I go up it, and my wheel is just nah, I'm not doing it. So I'm trying to go this way, and my bike wheel decides it's going to stay straight. So I go to turn, and it's no, that's not happening. And I flew off my bike, and I scraped all up the side of my leg, all the way up and down, sprained my wrist, had scratches on my face, on my arm, had to go to the hospital. It was a mess. But, I'm still living, so.
Yeah. Things heal. That's the amazing part of the human body.
Yeah, thankfully things heal.
Blood clots, so you don't bleed out every time you get a little paper cut. Let me tell you about the 2 injuries I think that were the biggest. They don't involve anything breaking. It's just sort of injuries. So the first one was when I was 6 or 5, one of those 2 ages. we had these like motor powered electric bikes or quads, and if you had one, you know what I'm talking about. If you didn't, you're probably like, what
Is
is
it
he
kind of like
talking
a
about?
Barbie car?
Yeah, but it's like a boy version, you
Okay,
know?
boy version of a Barbie car. Got
Yeah,
it.
it looks like a quad. I actually had two of them growing up.
Oh, okay. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. But anyway, my sister wanted to take a ride on one of them, and 5-year-old me didn't like that. So I thought it would be a good idea to grab onto the back of it
So she
and,
couldn't
and
ride
to
it.
so I would cling on, but she started the vehicle and it was on the street and my knees were touching the ground, so my knees got so badly scraped.
Oh no.
And the funniest part is I was in kindergarten at the time. I and my dog had broken his arm
Q-tip?
shortly before. Yeah,
Oh.
so we had this like paw print this paw print cast, right? And I had to put that on my knee for school. So I had dog cast on my knee
That's
walking
actually
into
really
school.
funny.
The other one was when I was, I think, 8 years old, or maybe it was in the year 2008, one of those two. I was roasting marshmallows with my cousins, and
I think
my
we were 8 years old in 2008.
I turned 9. This was in the summer, so it was after
Oh,
my
okay.
birthday. So I was either 8 or it was in 2008. One of those two. I just remember the number 8 being associated with this.
Yeah.
I was roasting some marshmallows, and I like mine burnt to a crisp, so I'll make the marshmallow catch fire, and then I'll just let it burn for a little while. Well, for some reason, my body decided to twitch or something while the marshmallow was burning, and the stick ended up flying right into my face and burnt my cheek. It was just a little burn, but
Oh my
like
god.
from that point on, I'm extra careful every time I touch a marshmallow stick.
Do you have like an aversion to marshmallows now?
No, I still love them. They're absolutely scrumptious, and I take any opportunity I could get to eat s'mores. It's just, uh, I'm extra careful not to move the stick in any unpredictable way. I don't even know how it happened. Like, I was just holding it, and my wrist just did something, and it
Then you had
flew
a burn
back
on
and
your
hit me in my
face.
face. Yeah.
I actually have a really funny story about burning my face. I was probably like 10, I guess. And I just made a Hot Pocket. And 10-year-old me, like little chunkster, I'm like, ooh, I want to eat this Hot Pocket right now as soon as it came out of the microwave. So I go to bite into it, and it's a ham and cheese Hot Pocket. And it's not like the square chunks of ham, it's like the sliced deli ham.
Uh-huh.
And I bite into it, and it dribbles down my chin.
Oh
And I had a 3rd-degree burn of like a Harry Potter lightning bolt on my chin for like 2 months. And it was just there, and I looked like an idiot. I looked like I had a little goatee. It was a mess. I wish I still had pictures of it because it was pretty funny.
Oh yeah, there is a third injury story I have. It was on my Snapchat. Remember that thing that happened with my foot?
Oh yeah, what happened?
So I got a plantar's wart on my foot, and I didn't know what it was. So I go to the doctor to get it checked out, and he immediately identifies it as a plantar's wart. I'm like, great, he knows what it is. I don't
I'm
have a
not
strange
dying.
alien disease. So he sends me to this podiatrist or podologist. No, podiatrist is the
Podiatrist,
correct
yeah.
word. Um, I'm not gonna give away his name. By the way, if you want to use anyone in a story and you're not sure that they're gonna be okay with you sharing their name, just like change their name.
All right.
So let's just call him Steve.
Steve.
So I go to Steve, and it's just super weird, dude. And the way he talks is like he's mumbling the whole time. Like he's like, "Hello and welcome to my office." Yeah, but he's funny. He cracked a few jokes. I thought he was a cool dude. Uh, so what he does is he scrapes around at the wart a little bit.
Ooh.
Yeah, and apparently it started bleeding pretty badly. I didn't feel a thing though. But then he just like puts this freeze away stuff on him. He sends me off. He's like, come back in 2 weeks to get it checked out again, and we're going to scrape it off, he said.
Ooh.
Yeah, shave it off. So, expecting that to happen, but a couple days later, my mom gets a phone call, and she's like, and the phone call was like, Dr. Steve is no longer with the practice, so,
Oh, I remember this story.
yeah, I told it so much better on my Snapchat.
That was so funny. I remember watching it like, oh my god, what happened
Yeah,
to Jake?
so my doctor either got fired or quit or was abducted by aliens or it was already an alien and returned to his mother's ship or broke his wrist playing a Wii game. I don't know.
But he's no longer with the practice.
Yeah,
You're
that's the
beat.
point. So I'm freaking out. I'm like, what if this guy is a fake doctor and he just screwed up my foot in a way that I can't even comprehend. What if he put like some crazy chemicals on it that's gonna give me cancer? Anyway, so it's fine now because I got a new podiatrist and he put this chemical on it, and I had to wear a little band-aid on my foot for like a month,
Oh my gosh.
and it had to be replaced the chemical like a couple times. But now it's all gone, and my foot looks like brand new. You can massage it and not get grossed out.
I used to have warts on my fingers because I used to play with frogs when I was younger.
Goodness gracious.
I don't know why. Like when I was younger, I would just pick up creatures and be like, "Oh, these are so cool!" Like caterpillars. Oh my gosh, I would let them crawl all over my body. I just did not care. And like I would pick up praying mantises and just screw with them until they would jump away. Or like crickets. I would pick them up and like throw them around, and I just thought they were so cool. I swear, when I was younger, I thought I was a little boy. I would play in the dirt. I would like throw my Barbies at walls. Like I just didn't mess with anything girly. And like, all right, so I would play with frogs all the time, and like even when I started to get warts, I was like, I don't care. Frogs are my friend. Like I'm playing with them. And I went to the doctor, and he was like, they were everywhere. Like I had them like here and here. Well, I guess they can't see, but all over my fingers. And I had like 10, and he was like, you have to stop playing with frogs. Like you're not allowed to touch frogs anymore. And I would have to go to the doctor, and like it was this loud ass machine that he would put it on my finger, and it would like push out cold air, and it would freeze them off, and it was the most painful thing ever. And ever since then, I haven't picked up a frog.
Frogs are my favorite animal, but my only real memory of playing with them, and I just kind of see them around.
Mm-hmm.
But when I was little, I was at my cousin's house, and we had like the whole family over. So the kids decided to go outside and catch frogs and put them in a bucket. The next morning, it was like in the middle of the summer, so the heat was beating down on them, and
Oh no, they were all fried, weren't they?
not that they were like melted. Like you would see like little liquid frog parts just in the bucket.
Oh my god! Those poor frogs!
I know, we were
That must have
terrible
been the
people.
worst way to go. But you didn't know. Like, oh, if I
I
let
didn't
the
even-
frog sit in the sun.
I didn't even touch a single frog. I was just following my cousins, and they did what they did. If I were to do it again, I would have told them to not put the frogs in the bucket, or at least put the bucket inside so they didn't melt.
Or give them some, like, water or something so they could just, like, hang out in the moisture.
Yeah.
They wouldn't melt. Actually, they
Something
might
like this.
boil if you put water with them outside. Oh, poor frogs. Rip. Sorry, guys.
You know that story that like if you put a frog in a pot of water and then gradually turn up the heat because of its cold-bloodedness, it won't realize that the water is boiling until it's too late and it dies of heat.
Aw.
That's not true.
It's not true?
Yeah, experimentally, frogs always jump out once it reaches a certain point.
Because they're like, no, screw this. This is hot.
And the lesson there is supposed to be something about perspective. I don't even know what the moral of that story is. It's told all the time, though.
I've never heard that
You've
before.
never heard it
I didn't
before?
even know that it was a thing that frogs could just, like, withstand hot water.
They can't. That's the point. Um, but anyway, so holy crap. Oh yeah, breaking your wrist.
Breaking your wrist.
You told us how you sprained your ankle, right? Or was that the wrist story?
That was the wrist story. I sprained the ankle story's not even that fun. Like, I was at field hockey and I was in a scrimmage. It was like right before the season started. And, I'm a defense, so I'm in the back. And I'm running to get to this ball. And this girl, she's a freaking tank. And I weigh 110 pounds, so anybody can really knock me over. So she, is coming at me, and I'm bracing myself for the hit. And she steps her cleat right on my ankle. Did not care. She was like, oh, that's your ankle? That sucks. Stomps out my ankle. And I'm, running towards the ball again, limping down the field. And after, 10 minutes of me limping, my coach is like, hey, Car, you good? I'm like, no, help me, let me out. So that's how I sprained my ankle. And it was freshman year. And it was the first week of school when we had the power outage.
Oh goodness, I remember. You were in my class.
And I'm limping down the hallway with my crutches, can't even hold any of my things, and the power goes out. And it's literally right when everybody comes out of class. So I'm getting tumbled down the hallway, standing on my crutches, being thrown against the locker. It was a mess. Not a good time.
You know how shin guards are required in soccer?
Yeah, and in field hockey. Those things are awful.
Well, they're really not, because have you ever clasped shins with somebody without the guard on?
Mm-hmm. It's
Yeah,
awful.
okay, so you need the shin guards.
Yeah, you need the shin guards. They just make you really smelly.
Well, for some reason, I take karate classes. I don't like to talk about it because everyone's always like, oh, does that mean you can beat me up? Or, oh, can you show me some moves? And I'm
You're like,
sitting down in
no.
my seat on the bus, like, no, I can't show you moves. There's not enough room. And
And
even
you're
if
like,
I
but
did,
I could kick your ass.
even if I did show people moves, they wouldn't be impressed because it doesn't look impressive to do air knife hands, you know? But anyway, I spar, and all the time, me and my sparring partner would kick each other. Sorry, my sparring partner and I would kick each other, and our shins would clash, and everything just had to stop for 30 seconds because both people were clutching onto dear life.
No.
Yeah, and I have no idea why the shin guards aren't required.
In karate?
No, normal karate I understand because you really don't clash shins a lot when you're practicing, say, a technique. But in sparring, you probably should have some shin guards on, boy.
Well, it's because you're supposed to be badass and do things without protection.
Yeah, but the shin guards are an option. You're allowed to have shin guards. It's just you don't have to, but you should have to.
Yeah.
For everyone's sake.
I don't think every sport doesn't, to wear shin guards, right? No.
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 Hockey
why
does.
would you have to in baseball?
Yeah, that's true.
Baseball.
Baseball.
Baseball kind of sucks.
I totally agree with you there.
All right, don't get me wrong. Oh, hold on. Let me see.
Yeah, set that timer.
So, baseball, I used to love baseball, but I also used to love it when the Phillies were good. So I would love to go and sit and watch it in the living room with my dad, watch all the baseball games. And I remember when the World Series happened in 2008, we were all sitting.
What was it, Phillies, Yankees?
It was Phillies. No, it definitely wasn't the Yankees. Was it the Yankees?
I remember the Yankees kicked the Phillies' ass one World Series, and I was so
That was
excited.
the World Series after. That was 2009. 2008, I forget who was against, but I know we won because I was sitting in my neighbor's house. You've met, Darian.
Who's we?
Well,
We won?
Me?
You mean the Philadelphia Phillies won?
Yeah, well, we won. Hashtag Philly spirit. Philly fans are the worst fans of all time. And I'm going to say Darian's name on here because I know she does not care where her name is said.
I got you.
Yeah. So, it was Darian, her stepdad, my dad, her siblings, and, her mom and all that. So, we're all sitting in the living room, watching Game 7, freaking out. Everybody's, screaming and yelling at each other, and like somebody hit a home run and we're all freaking out, and it was last inning, and I'm sitting there like gripping onto my chair like, are we gonna win? Are we gonna lose? No clue. And I look away from the TV for 2 seconds, and my dad just starts screaming, and I'm like, no, I missed it. What did I miss? He picks up my neighbor, throws him onto the couch, and like, my neighbor's, he's not the skinniest dude. And my dad, he's had 3 shoulder surgeries. He's not the like most, what are we going to say? The most nimble person to pick up and throw somebody. And so we all run outside, we're screaming, yelling, we have pots and pans, we can hear people down the street lighting off fireworks, like, we're all freaking out. Like, clearly my whole neighborhood, like, loves the Phillies. And, like, that will always be something in my life that I remember. But ever since then, baseball's just been kind of meh for me.
See, I thought the way the story was going to go was your father got so excited and celebrating that he, like, broke his shoulder trying to throw someone up. I thought that's where you were going with that.
That would have been a good way to end the story, but no, the moral of the story is we just love the Phillies.
See, the height of my baseball watching experience was the year that the Yankees beat the Phillies. It was like the year after, I think.
It was the year after, because I remember sitting there crying watching the game.
It was 4th grade, and I remember almost everybody in school was a Phillies fan, and I had to be that contrarian kid who was the Yankees fan.
I like the Yankees.
And
I remember I hate that kid.
Yeah, you hated me probably. But the point is, I was so happy that the Yankees won.
Just so you could go into school and be
like, just so,
you guys suck.
That's exactly it. And, now I really don't care. Like, the Yankees, I think, a lot of people hate them because their players are all overpaid and they roid up or whatever.
Douchebags.
Yeah, but I like that about them because they don't care as long as they win.
Yeah, it gives them character, whatever.
Yeah, it builds character to inject steroids.
Do the roids, man. Just do it.
Do not do drugs, kids.
I mean, the only sport I really keep up with now is hockey. Hockey's fun. They always get into fights. They're all assholes. Like, you can't meet a hockey player and be like, oh, wow, he was a really nice guy. I mean, I'm sure they're all nice people. But, like, on the ice, they're all assholes. Like, Wayne Simmons, such an asshole, but he's such a good player. Like, there was a game a couple weeks ago. I honestly couldn't even tell you who they were playing against. But I remember I was sitting and watching at home, like, in my bedroom. And they go to, like, drop the puck and, like, to go, like, figure out who's going to have it. And literally they hit the puck and they just started swinging. Like, there was nothing beforehand. They didn't bump into each other. Like, they just looked at each other and started fighting.
The temper.
Yeah, I was like, this is why I love hockey. If you can just decide, wow, I'm going to beat you up right now, that's pretty badass.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I used to watch baseball, football, and hockey, and basically any sport besides golf or some crap. Jockeying,
Yeah.
I didn't watch that. I didn't watch X Games at all.
You on X Games mode. I mean, I was never really a fan of football. Football's like, if I wanted to watch a bunch of dudes touch their butts, I mean...
you have a way to do that.
Way to do it, but like football just wouldn't be the move for that.
See, I think football is my favorite sport. I mean, it's the only one that I even follow now. Mm-hmm. But I used to watch the games every Monday night with my dad, and it was so fun. Now I don't even like watch it. Like I think I'm just bored of sports because. How much different stuff can happen in the course of a sports game? Like people, that Dallas versus, was it Pittsburgh? No, it wasn't.
No, it was Dallas versus,
Green Bay?
Green Bay.
Yeah, it was.
No, wait.
Yeah.
Wait, it was Green Bay?
Yeah.
Who did the Patriots play?
Steelers.
Okay. Yeah, you're right.
Everyone was like, that game is so good, and I actually was watching it with my father. because didn't have school the next day, and I can't go over his house late at night because I need to sleep for school.
Yeah.
But that Sunday, well, it was a Sunday night, I believe. I was over his house. We were watching it, and I was like playing Pokemon mostly, but I was kind of watching it, and I didn't think it was all that exciting. Like there's if you're into it, like the whole back and forth thing and how they almost came back but they didn't. All the power to you to enjoy that. I can't watch it and not feel like I've already seen this before.
Yeah. It's repetitive.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Like football to me just doesn't seem that fun. Like running up and down a field with a ball. Like I don't know. It just doesn't seem like enticing to me.
Isn't that what you do in field hockey?
Yeah, see, I didn't like field hockey. I didn't like playing field hockey.
You just did it to have a sport?
I didn't like the sport. No, I just did it because I was like, you know what? My friends do this. So, actually, I did it 8th grade. And I was really nervous because, like, in middle school, girls didn't really like me at all. I don't know why. They just had an aversion to me. Like, I wasn't really, like, the only girlfriend I really had in middle school was Jamie. And, like, I'm still friends with her now.
See, I can relate. Girls didn't like me in middle school. No, actually, you know what? My physical attractiveness peaked in middle school.
You think so?
I had girls on remember what was it?
Oh wait, with your long hair.
Before Ask FM, it was what? It was like Form Spring.
Oh, Form Spring.
Yeah, I had people girls telling me that they liked me on there. And they're like, but I'm so nervous. Like, how do I tell you? Typical 7th grade crap. And I was above that at that point. So I'm like, just be honest. Like, just be open about your feelings.
Yeah.
But now, I'm not the most masculine dude. I'm not going to lie. And...
See, you know what? I wouldn't even worry about that because I feel like most people don't find, like, who they're actually going to be with until after high school. Like, everybody in high school... are squares. Like, there's nobody, not one person at our school that I would ever date.
Yeah.
Like,
I can agree with you
everybody
there.
in our grade, lame as hell. Like, there's people who are cool and, like, fun to talk to, but most of them are immature and lame. I just don't have time for that.
I definitely agree with you. But, I can never help but feel like I'm missing out on an opportunity. Because... high school, like, it's different from college and then onward. So maybe it's an experience having a high school girlfriend that I would like to have. But, you know what? I don't have time for that crap.
Yeah. Honestly, like, being somebody who has dated... Like, I've dated 2 people in high school. And both of them were in the same grade. So, they're 2 years older than us. They graduated in 2015. And, like... I don't know, it kind of takes away from the fun because, like, when you're in a relationship, you, like, start hanging out with your friends less and, like, you're focused on that person and, like, I just recently broke up with my boyfriend and I've been having so much fun. Like, I haven't had so much fun in months because all the time he'd be like, oh, like, let's hang out and snuggle and, like, stuff. And, like, I would be like, hell yeah, I'm down to snuggle. But now that I'm, like, hanging out with my friends all the time, like, I'm having, like, a way better time and I feel like I'm doing way better with my experience instead of just sitting with one person all the time, you know?
I can't relate, but I understand what you're saying.
But you can understand,
yeah. Single all my life. I don't mean to sound pathetic because I really don't care.
Yeah.
I'm not into the romance. I'm sure the right person will come my way eventually. Maybe in college, maybe afterwards. I wouldn't even mind not marrying. I wouldn't even mind not having kids.
Yeah.
I have a whole branch of cousins who could carry on my family name.
Exactly. That's why I always say, I'm like, you know what? I don't have to have kids because I'm the, like, last Chacon, like, our generation, like, me and my sisters and stuff, we're the last people who can carry on the Chacon name. But we can't.
But don't you lose it?
We can't because we're girls. So there's nobody left in my family that's a, like, blood person who can carry on our name because 2 of my cousins are adopted and they're the last 2 boys. So we're kind of screwed because they don't even have our blood, like our actual like genes.
Yeah, at least
So the Chacon name right now for us is kind of gonna die unless I have a kid with somebody and they take both of our last names.
like
But I don't even really want to have kids because I feel like that would totally ruin like my body and like my life. So
yeah, it costs about $1 million to raise a
I don't
average
even have
child.
$1 million to raise
Well,
myself.
I mean, over
Over
18
time,
years,
yeah.
you're gonna maybe build up $1 million.
See, like my parents have invested $3 million into their kids, and honestly, definitely not $3 million because, when we were younger, we weren't the most well-off family. So,
Mm-hmm.
but I mean, we made it through, and I think my parents had some pretty kick-ass kids. So, we're killing it.
I would argue with that. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Yeah. What were we talking about again?
Getting married?
No,
Where did
before
we
that,
start?
Baseball.
Baseball.
Of course.
We were talking about relationships. How did we get from baseball to relationships?
Middle school baseball story. That was actually elementary school, 4th grade.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everyone hated me in 4th grade, I think. Yeah. Except, yeah. I actually remember, Antonio, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like
I was with Antonio last night.
Yeah, he always throws these parties. Well,
his parents are on vacation, so he's like, let's all throw down. I was actually going to tell you to come there last night. I went for an hour. Not even. Actually, I went for like 25 minutes and was like, this is whack. I'm going home.
Yeah. We grew up as best friends, but like in 4th grade, I don't know, he just infuriated me so much because we were in the same class. And you know how when you're with somebody for a little while, like you start to notice their flaws a lot more.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that happened, and on a fundamental level, like I feel like we shouldn't have clicked the way we did growing up because we have very different viewpoints and goals and aspirations.
Yeah.
But after 4th grade, we got right back into the friendship, and we're still somewhat close. I only talk to him occasionally because he's off throwing parties.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, I feel like I could still talk to him whenever I need to, and we have a good little thing going.
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of people, like, growing up that I used to be, like, super close with, and, like, now I'm not. But I still feel like I could go and talk to them. And, like, I have a cousin. She's not even really my cousin. Have you ever heard the story of why I was born?
That's a very deep and philosophical sounding story.
It's really not that deep. It's actually kind of ironic. It's kind of fucked up, honestly. So, my dad and my Uncle Joey were like, really drunk one night, like, you don't have the balls to knock up your babe. That was the premise of why I was born.
Oh my goodness.
So, they made a bet. Whoever could get their girl pregnant first won. Well, on the same day, my Aunt Heather and my mom call each other hysterically crying, I'm pregnant.
No way!
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Throughout the whole pregnancy, they're like, we don't know who got pregnant first, like, we don't know how this happened. And basically, one day, my mom calls my dad and is like, well, my dad is hunting, mind you. Hey, I'm about to have your kid, so you better come to the hospital and make it speedy. Well, on December 14th, I was born.
Uh-huh.
And as my mom was leaving the hospital with me, my Aunt Heather was going into the hospital. Oh, well, I'm going to finish the story.
We're going to talk about, it's finished, and then we'll talk about hospitals.
Yeah, well, my Aunt Heather was going into the hospital to have Grace. And that's how we were born.
Very, very
because
curious.
Of a bet. But, yeah, neither of them wanted to have kids. Any more kids, at least. And, I mean, Aunt Heather was her first. So, yeah. But that's my life friend that I've had. And me and her, it's kind of like good twin, bad twin.
Mm-hmm.
Because, I mean, she does things
Wait, you were born on the same day, too? Like, nothing...
No, she was born on December 18th.
Okay.
We were 4 days apart. So my dad won. I mean...
Well, not really.
Not really. Kind of lost. But I think I'm cool. He won. I mean, I'm 18 now. They don't really have to invest that much money into me anyway.
Yeah. Anyway, I was going to tell a story about that, but we have to start a new topic because that's the rules.
Hospitals.
This is our fourth topic, right?
Yes.
Okay. This
So.
is going to be the last one for this week. But I think
our
I'm
15
thinking.
minutes is starting.
Okay. So hospitals.
Hospitals freak me out.
I don't go there very often.
Yeah, no, I try to avoid them as much as possible.
My only real memory of going to a hospital, well, I actually had two, I think. I kind of don't remember, but my grandma was diagnosed with like bone marrow cancer
Oh my
or something.
gosh.
Yeah, and she was in there for a long time, and we visited all the time.
Did she
And
pass
it was
away
depressing.
from that?
Absolutely not. She's alive and kicking.
Good. Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
that's awesome because bone marrow
She-
cancer is
she-
usually like, ooh,
Yeah, she beat it.
you're going, kid.
Shout
that's
out
awesome.
to
Good for her.
Dr. Naza, I believe his name is. Definitely go to him if you have any problems and you're in his area.
Yeah.
Yeah, she loves him. She talks about him all the time.
Yeah, I mean, I would talk about him too if he saved my life.
Yeah, but at one point she was so delirious from having stayed in the hospital so long, and she told my dad like, "Get me out of here. I can't live here any longer." And he had no choice but to say like, "Okay, tomorrow I'm gonna get you out." And he really couldn't because she still had to be treated.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that sucks.
Yeah, but she made it through, and she's great.
I think I've gone to the hospital twice, and one time it was because I fainted.
Why did you faint?
I don't know. Like, I really don't know. I was kind of sick, and like I couldn't really eat anything. So I remember I ate eggs for dinner, and I remember my parents were watching Borat with my dad's friend, and we'll call him Bobby. And I was leaning. You've been to my house before, right?
Yes.
So, you know in my living room how I have that like archway kind of? I was leaning against that, like against the wall. And the next thing I remember is waking up on the ground, everybody looking at me like, we have to get out of the hospital. Ah! And they called an ambulance. Like, I don't know why they didn't just drive me. Really dumb. But I went to the hospital and they were like, why did you faint? And I was like, But by the time, like, they got me into the hospital room, like, I was already, like, I was sitting in the lobby for so long that I was, like, bebopping around, like, playing with stuff. And, like, I was like, I'm fine. Like, we can go
How old were you
home.
at the time?
I must have been, like, 7 or 8.
Well,
Maybe 9. Like, in that range. I was young.
I understand why they kind of panicked because, I mean, having a 7-year or 8-year-old faint
It's
without any
like,
prior
what's
history.
good.
Yeah.
I think they decided that the medicine I was taking did it. It was like I was taking, like, amoxicillin or something like that. Like, just a generic, like, cold medicine.
Amoxicillin is a cold medicine?
I think so.
I thought it was an antibiotic.
Well, yeah, like, that's what you take when you're sick.
Is it? I kind of just take Tylenol when I have a cold, and amoxicillin's for, like, if I have a stomach bug. But I'm not a doctor. I don't know.
I don't know. I could be wrong, but I just remember it was, like, a pink, gross...
Pink bubblegum flavor?
Yeah, probably bubblegum flavored. Not really sure. But they decided that medicine was what did it.
Dude, bubblegum flavored amoxicillin, like, I actually loved taking that. Like, it tasted...
Really?
It tasted so good.
Oh, no. I feel like it tasted like chalk.
Nah.
Or like literally like bubble gum you get from a machine.
I really liked it. I wasn't about to like take more though.
Yeah, like ooh, let's chug.
Even
chug
as a
the whole
kid, I
bottle.
kind of understood. Like, I'm not trying to chug down that amoxicillin.
Yeah, no,
and
that would be
die.
gross. Ooh. Ooh, I don't even like taking liquid medicine now. Like ever since I was
No,
younger, I was
I
like,
take
just
pills.
give
It's
me the pill.
simpler.
I don't want to. Nothing chewable. That's gross.
I hate chewable pills.
Anything.
They're so. Yeah. You ever have the Flintstones chewable vitamins?
Oh, like the gummies?
Yeah.
I like the gummies,
Okay.
but not like the ones that are actually like chalk. Like that is chalk in my mouth. I don't like that. Like this is gross, but like Gas X, no. It's chalky and gross. It gets stuck in your teeth. You taste it for 5 hours. It's awful.
See, I almost never take medicine if I can avoid it. Even if I have a headache, I won't take a pain reliever. For some reason, I just don't want to take it. I want to avoid taking medicine as much as I can.
Yeah.
And
that's the only thing I take medicine
My
for.
mom
really.
always gets on my case. Like, if I have a cold, she'll like she'll be like, "Oh, did you take your Dayquil?" And I'm like, "No, Mom, I did not take
No,
Dayquil.
just
I have an
chilling.
immune system that can do the job just as well."
See, I have like the worst immune system on earth. Like
Yeah,
it's so bad.
you're
I get
never in
sick.
school.
Yeah, I get sick all the time, and like I get really. That's the reason why I'm not in school a lot is because I get really bad migraines.
Migraines.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that seriously like knock me on my ass. Like I can't open my eyes. I can't get out of bed. Like I can't eat. It's and they're like this has been since I was 9, and they've just been getting worse and worse and worse. And like I don't know what it is, but it kind of freaks me out though because my uncle had brain cancer. So it makes me nervous because like what if I get brain cancer? Like I have migraines all the time, and like his brain cancer fried him. Like he just lost everything. Like his whole memory
Oh
shot.
no, that's
So like,
awful.
but it was kind of good because he forgot he had cancer.
What the fuck?
Like we would have to remind him and be like, he'd be like, "Oh, why am I here?" And we'd be like, "Oh, like you don't remember?" And he'd be like, "No." And we'd be like, "Well, you have brain cancer." And he'd be like, "Oh shit, really?" We'd have to remind him like, "Oh, this is why you're in the hospital. This is why you kind of feel a little weird. Like this is why you're sick. Like why your head hurts and stuff like that." So I mean, I get nervous about like my migraines because of that, and like I try not to like overdo it, especially when I have migraines. Like if I have a migraine and I'm out with my friends, I'm like, well, gotta go. I need to go lay in bed, and the medicine I take, I don't like to go to school and take it because it makes me like it's literally a side effect. It makes me illiterate.
What?
Like I
You
can't.
can't read?
No, like I can read, but like I can't focus my eyes.
Oh.
I can't speak sentences clearly. It like takes me a second to understand like process what people are saying. Like it's really weird, and it's like I take Maxalt.
Uh-huh.
And it's literally a side effect that it will make you slow. It's like, yeah, you're gonna be
Oh
real
goodness.
slow. Like a label says, finna be slow, homie. Like that's what it should say.
Well, at least you can't inherit stuff from your aunts and uncles.
Yeah.
So, like, there's no direct lineage. Although, if you got it from your grandparent,
That
yeah.
could be something.
My aunt always insists that I got my intelligence from her, but like, when I was growing up, I was like, yeah, sure, I did.
Yeah.
But now I'm
you're
like,
probably not.
I don't think that happened unless there's something you want to talk to me about.
That's actually really funny.
Yeah, but I think I did get it from my mother's father. He's a very bright dude. My parents are from the Dominican Republic. Or I'm sorry, my mom is from the Dominican Republic, and her parents
I was gonna
grew
say,
up
wait,
there.
your dad is too.
Yeah, no, my dad's white as white can be. My dad is literally the antithesis to darkness. Like, the antithesis of melanin is what I mean to say.
Like whitest dude ever.
Yeah, and his political views align exactly as you'd expect them to.
Oh no.
But you
No,
know, it's okay.
Yeah, whatever. You know what? I can't judge anybody based on what they believe unless they're uneducated about what they speak about.
Yeah.
So, like I'm gonna use a fake name, but say my friend Brian,
Brian?
really, really loved Trump.
Uh-huh.
And he always
Yeah.
wore his Trump hat, and he was very patriotic. Although Brian has those views, and I strongly disagree with him, and strongly believe he's very uneducated on what he's talking about, I will still be friends with Brian, because I've been friends with Brian forever. And even though we will get into some heated debates about what he believes in, no matter what, I'm still going to be friends with Brian. So I'm never going to dislike somebody based on what they believe in.
Yeah, I'm the same way, you know. I think people reject me for my views more than I reject them for theirs. Like, if we're in conflict over something, I'll try to be friends with them and, you know, have maybe a friendly discussion about it with them. And they most often, like, block me on Twitter or whatever.
Yeah, people always do that. That's so lame. Actually, you know what? Over the past couple days, I have had to unfollow some people on Twitter because what they tweet, about what is prevalent in the world today is so wrong that it fires me up. Like, I hate when people are uneducated. Like, that's probably my biggest pet peeve. And, like, I know I'm not the most educated person on, like, world affairs and stuff.
But you don't act like you know what you're talking about?
Yeah, I'm not going to act like I know what I'm talking
Yeah.
about. But I do know some things that I'm talking about. And
Yeah.
when people, like, somebody tweeted yesterday, and I unfollowed them immediately. They tweeted, "Why are y'all mad? Obama did nothing in office." I was like, immediately unfollowed. I was like, "You're wrong. You're wrong."
See, I never unfollow or block just because someone tweets something I don't believe in. I could deal with it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna start up a debate just because they say something I disagree with.
Yeah,
Because
I wouldn't spark a debate on Twitter. No,
I'd be starting
point.
up a lot of debates if that happened.
Yeah.
Because most people will say some things that they really don't know about. I think even I fall into that sometimes where I think I know something and I just don't. But, you know, a lot of people assume that because I give off this air that I'm intelligent, that I can't admit when I'm wrong. Because a lot of people who are smart, you know, they're very stubborn.
They're wrong. Yeah.
But, you know, that's just the way people judge me. But I'm the first one to say, like, if I made a factual error, I will correct it or I will retract what I said.
Yeah,
you know?
like that's very respectable thing to have, like, in a person. Like, I feel like that's a very good quality, is being able to admit when you're wrong.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Because, you know what, some people, even sometimes myself, like, somebody could say something to me and I'd be like, "No, you're still wrong. Like, I don't care. You're wrong. Bye." Like, I don't care what you're trying to explain to me. You're wrong.
Yeah, if you have if you're factually incorrect and then you just can't let go of your point that relies upon that fact, that's wrong.
Yeah, like that I will always admit to. If, like, you can show me something that shows that I'm wrong, I will be like, "You know what? Props. I respect that. I understand how I'm wrong now. Thank you for bringing that to my point."
But at the same time, don't think that if you provide evidence, quote unquote evidence, that doesn't actually prove what you're saying, then I'm gonna give in. Because, you know, if it's something opinion based and you have to persuade me of it, I can be persuaded, but not very easily.
Yeah.
Whereas if it's something that's factual, then I'll back down immediately.
Yeah.
Because, you know, I'm a dumb kid. I don't know anything about the world.
Yeah, we're just getting into this kind of swing of things. I couldn't even vote in this election, so, like, I can't really talk smack on it, but I can because I didn't have the ability to vote. So, I wish I did. I mean, not that it would have made a difference, but I would be able to speak out against what I believe in. You know what I'm saying?
I suppose so, yeah.
But, like, the person who tweeted that thing, you know, like, all right, you know those kids who are popular in middle school?
Yeah.
That, like, still think that they're, like, hot shit?
Yeah.
It was one of those kids.
Oh.
And I was like, you know what? You're so stupid. I don't even need to follow you anymore.
Did you see this thing on Twitter that Trump stole part of his inauguration speech from the B-movie script?
You know what? I did see that. And I was like...
It's totally not true.
Yeah, I was like, this doesn't seem liable, and it's not like he writes his own speeches anyway. Like, whoever wrote, what's her name? What's his wife's name? It starts
Melania.
with Melania. I always think it's Melanie, but it's not. Why can't it be something simple like that? You know what's really weird? Nobody has ever seen Trump and Melania kiss. It's like
it's almost like
it's like in the contract for them being married, so she can get her green card. Like, we cannot kiss. Sorry.
Goodness. Let's get off the topic of politics.
True.
What?
I mean, that's not really politics. It's just that they don't kiss. It's weird.
That is weird.
Like, right?
If you're a married couple, you should be making out in front of the television screens at every opportunity.
If, like, you're the new face of America, you should show you love each other. But I mean,
yeah.
We'll see. Time will tell. Maybe they'll kiss on TV.
Did Obama and Michelle do that though at the beginning of their presidency?
I mean
his presidency.
No, like, they didn't kiss on... Actually, no, they definitely did. Because everybody knew the whole time that they were together, they loved each other. Like, there was no doubt in anybody's mind. Like, Michelle and Obama, like this.
Yep. Michelle and Obama like this.
Yep.
And she had crossed her fingers just because they can't really see you,
Oh, you're
our
right.
listeners.
Yeah, but they're tight, and like everybody knew that they loved each other. So I don't know. We'll see. Maybe they do love each other. Oh.
Oh, wow.
That was
What
a
a
quick
note to
15
end on.
minutes.
That was the perfect note to end on.
Yeah.
Now, let me just give my little perspective. I think there was a little bit of dead air at some parts that I can work on fixing. You know, this is going to be a work in progress show. I'm going to always try to improve it. Maybe get a better setup for everything so that the lights aren't flickering on and off.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
this was a pretty chill place to do it, though.
Let me just remark, our setup's a basement setup. I don't know if I said this.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, we're in my basement because it's the quietest place in the house. So we don't have a studio or anything, and I'm using my phone to record this, so we don't have a microphone.
Yeah, we're just hanging out, talking to a phone.
But I do think that went better than I thought it was going to go. I thought there was going to be a lot of awkward silences and long pauses.
No, we always conversate together, I feel like. We just talk about
Converse.
random stuff.
It's not conversate, it's converse.
Converse.
I'm sorry.
Converse together.
That error just riles me.
You know what my friend spells like through, like come through. How would you spell that?
THROUGH.
Yeah, no, he spells it THREW.
Like the
I
past tense of
threw a
throw.
ball. Like I threw the ball. And
Oh my
I
goodness.
don't. Every time he does it, I'm like, you are so dumb. Like I'm gonna strangle you right now. Like just spell it correctly.
All right. So that was the end of our show, but there's one thing I wanted to say before we sign off. At the beginning, I used a random word generator to generate our first topic, but next week, what I want you guys to do is comment a suggestion for a starting topic, and we will use one of your suggestions as the starting topic. Makes sense, right? Anyway, this has been, what were we talking about again? And, oh, one last thing. Do you remember all 4 of the topics that we started with?
Me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, name them.
Swords.
Blade.
Baseball.
Yeah.
Hospitals.
Uh-huh.
Oh, what was the other one?
The one before baseball, right?
The one before baseball. Was
Yeah.
it? Oh, breaking your arm.
Yep, that
Yep.
was it.
We got it.
Anyway, this has been, what were we talking about again? Thank you for listening, and stay tuned because next week it's gonna get ugly.
Stay safe, guys.